We're back with Josh Hatter, president of the Charleston Defense Contractor Association, and Joseph Opacki, vice president of threat research at Fish Labs. We want to know a little bit more about the summit that's coming up in December. So how can people find out more information? How do you join?
So we have a summit website stood up specifically for this event, which is being held December 5th through the 8th at the Convention Center in North Charleston near the airport, and it's just summit.charlestondca.org. And people can learn more about the agenda, some of the different panels that we're having, as well as some of the high-level attendees and sponsors.
And this is for anybody?
We're specifically defense, so we're really looking at showcasing emerging information technology and cybersecurity trends. So typically people that want to be involved in the federal space or anything with the Department of Defense would be the ideal attendee.
I see, okay. And we were talking about SPAWAR during the break, so there's some things that are coming down the pike for South Carolina and for the United States as a whole. So maybe we could talk a little bit about what that is.
Sure. With the collision in Southeast Asia that we've seen recently, it's important to be able to navigate without GPS. And so one of the capabilities that the command is looking at potentially showcasing at this event is how to navigate without the existence or presence of GPS to be able to avoid those types of collisions in the future. As you can imagine, that type of accident costs billions of dollars and,
sure,
and lives as well too. So,
yeah. And speaking of economic impacts, so the more advanced we are, the bigger of an impact it's going to be here on our state and in the Low Country as well. So for Fish Labs specifically, or for any type of cyber defense companies, what would you say would be the trajectory for the state?
Well, I'd say that from our experience that we've noticed that there's a lower barrier to entry to commit the types of crimes that we're seeing. And I think that everybody who has to actually deal with computers at this point can be a victim of these types of crimes. It only takes one person within a corporation to be impacted by one of these crimes for essentially that corporation to be in the news about a data breach. And it doesn't really require a lot to commit these types of crimes by these types of threat actors. So for us, I think it's important that, you know, we want to make sure that corporations are always consistent about focusing on the attack and understand what the actual impact is, and establishing like a security culture so that they can focus on defending themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, let's just talk about Equifax. I mean, I realize that that's more of the not layperson, but non-military related attack. However, chances are someone within the military was hacked into and their identities could very well have been stolen. So just using that as an example, what is it that we are not doing right or that we should be doing better to ensure security for defense or just for commerce?
Yeah. So what I think is that a lot of people don't realize that 90% of all major cyber crimes begin with something as simple as an email being delivered to a corporate network. And it's essentially a social engineering attack against the person who's behind the keyboard. But once that person falls victim to that type of attack, then a larger, more advanced scaled attack can occur. And so what I think that we need to do, especially as all these different data breaches are occurring throughout the year, is companies need to really invest in the cybersecurity culture, from the executive level all the way down, and they need to build this culture of cybersecurity into their company. The investment into cybersecurity should be no different than the investment into key cards to protect access to the buildings, essentially.
True. All right, well, Joseph and Josh, thank you so much, and we'll have all the information on this upcoming summit on our website, foxcharleston.com. We'll be back in 2 minutes.